Hello, it's Miri speaking. Yes, I'm back from my trip in Nazareth, in Portugal. Took some days to recover a little from my from my challenges and from my experiences in Portugal. Also, I had to digest some of the experiences I had in there. It was very deep experiences. I I really had very interesting things happen to me in there. Well, if you are following my videos, you know that I lost my phone when I went there inside a taxi, and but the driver kept my phone, and then I was able to retrieve the phone on last Tuesday this week. Today, Saturday, yeah, last Tuesday, before I came back to England. So I have my phone back. So it was very interesting experience because it was a lesson for me to learn. Probably not a lesson, but it is, yeah, it's probably my lesson. I don't have another word to put it. But yes, it is a learning process of letting go, not being attached to things, um, surviving without phone, as you know, we have been done it for thousands of years. So yes, it was a very interesting experience to have. So, okay, what did I learn with that? I learned that when you are in the hands of the spiritual beings, when you say to your guides and your spiritual mentors and your spiritual family, okay, I'm ready to experience whatever comes in my way for me to grow and be more closer to spiritual family and to what I have come to do in earth. When you say that, they really take care of situations. They do. And that's something that I learned very deep this time. When I lost my control inside that bus when I was going to Nazareth from Lisbon. And then I noticed that I had lost my phone, and the panic and, the pain and the worry that overtook me for about 15 minutes. And then I had I had the opportunity to decide it, what I wanna be in that moment. If I wanna let the panic and everything and the worries took over me, or if I was able to take over the pain and the worried and control it, be in control of the moment, of the situation. So it was a very interesting lesson for me to grasp. So in 15 minutes of battles between my ego, myself, and the trust that I had to put and give to the destiny in order to control it. these feelings, these gut feelings of losing something. So after 15 minutes, I decided, okay, I think I understand what is going on now. After talk to myself, after, have a big discussion inside me, looking outside the window and trying to grasp, you know, the meaning of the situation. So after these 15 minutes, I come down and say, okay, thanks God for these experiences. I thank you very much for telling me that I am in my way to a place where I have to disconnect from everything and just connect with God. So I'm going to put this situation in the hands of you, my guides, and you decided what is better for me. If I have to be without that phone, okay, I let it go. I'm not going to be attached to it at all. And if this phone is mine and, it's supposed to be mine, so it's going to come back to me. So tell me now what to do. And so I took my other phone that I use as a tablet. So there is internet, Wi-Fi in it, but no telephone line. So can be connected to Wi-Fi. Yeah. So I decided to look if there were Wi-Fi in the bus, and it was there. The Wi-Fi was on, so I was able to connect with the bus, the company bus Wi-Fi. And then I contact my daughter on Facebook. I send her a private message, say, look, this happened, so try to contact my phone and see if it answers. And if it does, tell the guy that I will be back on Monday. It was Wednesday, so would be the whole weekend, the half of the weekend, the whole weekend without phone. So when I got to Nazareth and to my hotel, I told the story to the owner of the hotel where I was, and then we connect to the Wi-Fi from the hotel. And then my daughter answered and said that, yes, I managed to talk to the guy, and he gave me his number. So when you're back to Lisbon, just contact him. And then the owner of the hotel said, let me talk to the driver to be sure everything is okay with your phone. And then she connected with him and talked to him, and so everything was okay. And then I said, okay, now I understand more what's going on here. My guides and my mentors wants me to disconnect completely from the outside world and be in with myself and my guides and the angels and the spiritual beings. That's what I did, and it was fantastic. Every day was a different experience. A lot of information. I got a lot of information about my own life, about my children and my future, and it was fantastic experience. And the most impressive one, all of them was very impressive. All the place I went, if you saw my videos from there, you can see how blessed was all the time, and talking to the trees and talking to the place, and to the rocks. I visited what's the name, a Gruta da Moeda, or the money cave. What a beautiful place. It was discovered in 1971 or 1972. So it was hidden there for, thousands, millions of years. No one knew about it. So it's about just 40 years open now. It's a beautiful place, very beautiful place. Portugal is a very, very spiritual place to be. Very nice, very good. So when I went back to Lisbon, Okay, I gave the number of the guy to the owner of the hotel, the other hotel, the manager, and the manager called the guy and he said, okay, the taxi driver. And the taxi driver said, no, I'm not. I am out of Lisbon today, but I'll be back at about 4 o'clock in the morning. So from 4 o'clock in the morning until all day long, I can come and drop the phone. So you book the time for 9 o'clock in the next morning. So I had the whole day, the whole evening to go around Lisbon and the next day also. So my guide was telling me, no time yet. You are not going to be distracted by all information that you have got in your phone because I have more to give you. So I went to two churches, no, just one church that day, and I went to the park and I lay down on the sun and the grass, and I was meditating and connecting to myself, being grateful for everything that was happening to me. So that night, I had loads of information on dreams, on out of experience bodies, etc. in Nazareth. But the last night in Lisbon, my last night in Portugal was the most intense one because I had an out of body experience in a dream. I went to the past. I didn't know it wasn't on the past. When I had this experience of this, go out of my body and experiment this place, etc., I thought I was seeing something for the future. But it was not for the future. Next day, I went to the church. I went to visit many churches, and I visited about 6 churches on the last day in Lisbon on Tuesday all day because my flight was in the evening. So I spent the whole morning and early afternoon going around visiting. So I discovered that Saint Anthony is from Portugal. I didn't know that. I went to his church, the church of the Matrix, the cathedral of Lisbon. Also, I went there. So it's when I discovered that Lisbon was destroyed twice, and the last time it was about 300 years ago. I didn't know that they had earthquakes so strong like that to destroy mostly the city completely. So I went to the last church I decided to ask about this experience that I had in the night in the hotel. It was so deep, so strong, so that I was not able to sleep after this. After the dream, I was thinking, oh my God, a tsunami is going to happen in Lisbon. Everything's going to be destroyed because the size of the tsunami I saw, it was too big. But I didn't pay attention to the details of my dream because in my dream, I was about 12 years old. So if it was going to be something in the future, it would be not in this lifetime. It would be in another lifetime of mine. But I didn't pay attention to all the details, like the place was very rustic, It was like a desert, but it was in Portugal. It was because I was speaking Portuguese and people around me was speaking Portuguese. My father was speaking Portuguese with me, my siblings, because I had one brother of 3 years old brother to 4, and I had a sister about 8 years old. And they were playing and running in front of us, and my father was talking to my mother, and then I was by the side of my father, and people around us, and it was very, it was very countryside beach. Like there were sands in the beach, but there were also no grass, bushes. So it was very back in time, but I didn't pay attention to it. The only thing in my brain was the tsunami. And then when I went to the church, the last church I went, before I take the train back to the hotel to pick up my luggage, um, I went to this church and I decided to ask questions about this dream. And then the first question was, it is in future this dream that I had, this experience that I had last night? And he said no. It was a surprise for me because I was, every intuition, every out of body experience that you have got, every, this type of specific and special dreams you have, you always think that is in the future. You never think that is in the past. And he said, no, it's not future. And then I asked, is the past? He said, yes. I have been in this? Yes, you did. And then I started to ask all the questions about who was my father, etc., mother, and my siblings, who they were, etc. So I was just amazed that, but I didn't relate it specifically to Portugal because I didn't know that they had some tsunami in Portugal. So I was thinking, okay, something from the past. I have been in a tsunami, but where? I didn't link the earthquake, etc. No, I didn't. All the knowledge that I had during the day, of the thing that I learned about Portugal that morning, didn't link together. When I came back to England and I was talking to my son about Portugal, etc., and then I said to him, did you know that they had an earthquake in Lisbon twice? And he said, no, I didn't. So I didn't know myself. So let's study about it. Let's Google it. And then I Google. And to my surprise, yes, 1755, 1755. It was the earthquake in the area of Lisbon. They had one before, but in about 12th century, 15th century, they had 12th to 13th century, they had a big one also that destroyed a lot. But this one, the 1755, it was about 100 kilometers from Lisbon on the sea. It was under the sea, the earthquake, the seismic that generated the earthquake in Lisbon. It was 100 kilometers from the capital, from the shore. That's why they raised up the tsunami. I didn't know that. When I saw tsunami after the earthquake, I just melted and my heart just pounded and I had this gut feelings. Oh my God. So that's it. It was in there. That's why I had the dream in there. That's why my out of body experience was in there. So I was there. And 1st of November, 1755, me and my family, we all died in that tsunami. And the amazing thing is, when I had the dream, I call dream because I have another word to call it, this out of body experience, I was, we were walking, coming from my father's mother's house. We were, apparently was we were sleeping in there. So we went to visit my grandmother, that's the mother of my father, and then we were coming back home, walking. And it was in my dream. It was about half an hour trip from my grandmother house to our house. Our house was in a 40. They were. I saw the gates and the walls. Yeah, it was stone walls and the big gate. Um, and then when you saw the sea, very stormy sea, and then all deck in very dark and very foggy, like foggy. So when I saw it, I told my father, let's go back to grandmother's house. Something is not right. It's gonna have a storm. It's very stormy the sea. Let's go back, Daddy. And Dad said, no. If you walk fast and if you run a little more, you can reach our the walls of the village. So that's what you start to do, walk very fast, and people, there were more people around, and I saw the fishermen on the sea, coming towards the shore like crazy and screaming and, saying, everyone run because something is not quite right. And people are saying, things is not quite right. Let's run, let's go, let's try to find a place where you can stay safe. So, and, but then we noticed that you're not going to have time to reach the walls of the village. But even if you have reached the walls of the village, you're not going to survive. Because when you saw me and Father, the size of the wave that was coming on top of us, as a child, I said, it's no way you're going to survive this. And then when I said that, I was worried about my father, and then I looked my father pick up the baby in his arms, his left arm, and look at my mother. My mother was with my sister, with the hands, hold hands with my sister. And then I look at my father. My father just, was like a man standing, say, yeah, we're going to face it, standing up. When I look at the size of the wave coming, it was about 30 to 40 meters up. And then I thought, no way we're going to survive. Then I went to I lay down on the floor, and I embraced the bushes that were nearby, and then I just fell back, and then I wake up. I was out of my dream immediately when I felt the force of the wave on my body. And then I was not able to sleep anymore. I was going from one side to the other, just trying to understand what's happened to me and thinking, oh my God, something is going to happen in Lisbon. Something is going to happen. So during the day when I went to the quays, to the shore, I was looking around to see if the sky was dark. Because in my brain, it was about future, it was not about past. Even all the details on the dream looks like, very old and very primitive environment. Even then, I thought it was just, something on the dreams, because sometimes the dream has details that is not related directly to us. But in this moment in time, in that because it was not a normal dream, so it was a revelation for me that I had been there, and I even know the day of this death, 1st of November, 75. So what I'm telling you this, things is happening now in this moment in time with this new shift of energy around. that is changing us. Because the Miriam that went to Portugal last weekend is not the same that is here right now. All the experiences I had make me grow more, made me more aware of the actions and of the work of spiritual beings on our life. My rebel side sometimes say, but what the heck? I don't have control of anything. No. And it's very, very difficult to accept it. It's not easy to accept that you don't have control, that there is powers that is above us, powers that really manipulate our experiences. So that is more for me to grasp, that is more for me to remember, that is more for me to understand, to accept, and to embrace. Because acceptance is something, embracing is another thing. Acceptance is when you say, okay, I can't do anything. But embrace is when you say, okay, it's okay with my soul that everything that has happened. Embrace with grace. Embrace with grace. And that's what I'm doing right now. Embrace everything with grace. And it's worth it. In my experiences, my day-to-day experiences, I'm telling about something that has happened every single day in my life. I'm talking about me experimenting things. My experiences is telling me that I don't need to worry about anything, because whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Whatever is supposed to be mine will be mine. Whatever is supposed to happen would happen. With my interference or no, it's going to happen. And sometimes when you try to interfere in the situation, makes it more difficult. It makes it more painful to rage. Because when you try to interfere on the process, you distract the process. So let's accept the process that you have to go through in order to get to where you want to be. Okay. Let me tell you something to finalize this conversation. Practical things, okay? For example, I do something in order to keep my bills on you know, on control. So it's my business. Not business, but it's what I do to, to keep going. And this weekend, I had the whole weekend free, and I said, oh my God, this is not good because I am short of money and I need something. And then I look at my guides and say, look, you have to provide something this weekend. So on Thursday to Friday, someone sent me a message, said, okay. And then the person canceled and then say, okay, look, yeah, thanks God for this. So probably it's not supposed to be. And then another one, immediately about 2-3 hours after, booked the same place for the night. I say, okay, that's good. But then I said, just one night is not enough. I need at least another 2 days. And in the evening, about midnight, I receive an email saying, look, can I have this on for 2 days. And they said, okay, fantastic. So, it's worth it. When you have your guides and your mentors as partners in the journey, makes it easy. You go through experiences and you go through challenges, because I had a challenge on Thursday. I had a challenge on Thursday because I was very short of money. I need something. But my partner in life is my guides and my angels. So who I have to talk to? I talk to them. And they provided for me. So don't be worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just trust. Trust your guides. Okay? And do the exercise of, okay, I am ready. You just have to say that. Mentors, guides, spiritual family, I'm ready. And let everything be on their hands. Okay? God bless you, keep you safe, and let's enjoy life, because life is about enjoyment. It's about being happy. It's about singing. I sing a lot. All the time. Yes, I sing a lot. So let's do it and be happy. Okay, God bless you, keep you safe. And let's see what they're gonna allow me to talk in the next video. I don't know. I never know. Because they are the ones who tell me what to do. Okay. God bless you, keep you safe, and I will be also safe. Bye-bye.